Hey there, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both timeless and super important. Hope. Yep, that little four-letter word that gets us through tough days, inspires us to dream big, and, let's be honest, sometimes feels a bit elusive. But we're not just talking about hope as a warm, fuzzy feeling. We're going to dig a little deeper and explore how philosophers over the centuries have thought about hope, what it means, and why it's such a crucial part of the human experience. So, buckle up. Whether you're a hardcore philosophy nerd or someone who's just curious about what keeps us all going, this video is for you. Let's get started. 1. What is hope, really? Alright, let's kick things off with the simple question. What exactly is hope? Most of us might say hope is when you really want something good to happen, even if there's no guarantee that it will. Like hoping for good weather on the weekend, or hoping you'll win the lottery. But philosophers have taken this idea and spun it around a million different ways. At its core, hope is a kind of optimism, a belief that the future can be better than the present. It's the mental fuel that keeps us moving forward, even when things seem bleak. Imagine you're walking through a dark tunnel. Hope is that tiny light you see in the distance that keeps you putting one foot in front of the other. 2. The philosophical roots of hope. So, where does hope fit into the grand scheme of philosophy? Let's start with ancient Greece. For philosophers like Plato and Aristotle, hope was connected to the concept of desire. In their view, hope wasn't just about wishing for something. It was about having a rational expectation that something could happen, based on our understanding of the world. It's not just, I hope I get a promotion. I hope I get a promotion because I've worked hard. And that makes it likely. But let's jump over to Christian philosophy for a moment, because this is where hope really starts to get a glow up. St. Augustine, a major thinker in early Christian philosophy, believed hope was one of the three theological virtues, alongside faith and love. For Augustine, hope wasn't just about the good things you want in life. It was about the ultimate good, like salvation and eternal happiness. So, it wasn't just hoping for something here and now, but hoping for something bigger than ourselves. And let's not forget Immanuel Kant, who took a slightly different angle. For Kant, hope was tied to moral action. Basically, if you're going to act morally, you have to have hope that your actions will make a difference. It's like recycling. You have to believe that putting your plastic bottle in the recycling bin will actually help the planet, even if you can't see the results right away. 3. The dark side of hope. Alright, we've painted a pretty rosy picture of hope so far. But let's get real for a second. Not all philosophers think hope is such a great thing. Take Friedrich Nietzsche, for example. Nietzsche was known for shaking things up, and he wasn't afraid to call out hope as a bit of a problem. He argued that hope can sometimes be a kind of illusion, a way to avoid facing harsh realities. In his view, people cling to hope because they're too scared to confront the truth. Imagine you're stuck in a bad relationship, but you keep hoping things will get better. Nietzsche would say, stop hoping and start seeing things for what they are. Harsh, but kind of a wake-up call, right? And then there's Arthur Schopenhauer, who is known as the king of pessimism. Schopenhauer didn't see much value in hope at all. For him, life is basically a cycle of wanting something, getting it, and then realizing it didn't make us as happy as we thought it would. So, hope just keeps us chasing after things that will never truly satisfy us. It's like the ultimate hamster wheel of life. 4. So, should we be hopeful or not? Okay, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Some philosophers think hope is essential. Others think it's a distraction. So, who's right? Well, the answer is somewhere in between. One modern philosopher, Ernst Bloch, believed that hope is what drives us to change the world. He saw hope as a kind of revolutionary force. Instead of just sitting around wishing for things to be better, hope pushes us to take action and actually make things better. Imagine all the social movements throughout history, from civil rights to environmental activism. They were driven by people who hoped for a better future and didn't just sit around waiting for it. On the flip side, you've got thinkers like Albert Camus, who was all about confronting the absurdity of life. Camus didn't think hope was necessarily bad, but he thought we should be careful not to let it blind us. In his view, life is full of randomness and chaos, and sometimes we just have to face that without looking for a silver lining. It's about embracing life for what it is, even if it doesn't always make sense. 5. Hope in the modern world. So, how does all this philosophical talk about hope apply to us today? In one word, a lot. Think about everything going on in the world right now: climate change, political turmoil, social inequality. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and, well, a little bit hopeless. But hope is what keeps us engaged, keeps us striving for solutions, and keeps us believing that change is possible. Without hope, we'd probably just throw up our hands and give up. But because we hope, we continue to push for a better world. In fact, scientists have found that hope isn't just good for the soul, it's actually good for your health. People who have a hopeful outlook are more likely to take care of themselves, stick to their goals, and bounce back from setbacks. So, maybe those philosophers who championed hope were onto something. 6. How to cultivate hope. Alright, if hope is so important, how can we make sure we have more of it in our lives? Here are a few tips inspired by our philosophical friends. Find meaning in the little things, even if your hopes are big, like changing the world. It's important to find hope in the small, everyday moments. Maybe it's enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning, catching up with a friend, or seeing a beautiful sunset. Take action. Remember Bloch's idea that hope is a force for change? The best way to keep hope alive is to act on it. Whether it's volunteering, joining a cause, or even starting a passion project, do something that brings you closer to the future you're hoping for. Don't be afraid to face reality. Like Camus said, hope doesn't mean ignoring reality. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is acknowledge that things aren't perfect, and then find a way to hope anyway. It's about balancing optimism with realism. 7. Wrapping up. The power of hope. So, there you have it. Hope might seem like a simple thing, but it's actually a complex and powerful force that can drive us, challenge us, and inspire us. Whether you see it as a comforting light or a revolutionary energy, hope is what makes us human. It's what makes us dream, plan, and strive, even when the odds are against us, and in a world that can sometimes feel a bit chaotic. Hope is something we can all use a little more of. Thanks for sticking around, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What does hope mean to you? Let's keep this conversation going.